Hello everyone, welcome to the part 2 of this video series, CorelDraw for beginners. In case you've not watched the part 1, you can check the description of this video. You get a link to the part 1 of this video. And in this part 2, we are going to be going through the tools in the toolbar, which is at the left side of the screen, which are these tools here. We are going to be going through them one after the other to see how we can use them in CorelDraw. So before I start talking about these tools, in the part 1 when we were looking at the drawing page, where I said we select the size of this rectangle that you are seeing at the center of the screen, I noticed that when I was selecting each of the pages, the scale was not changing. So if you are experiencing that, once you click on any size, for example if I click on A1, you can see that it's now our unit is inches. That's 0 to, okay, this is the size of the drawing page. So when you are changing this, the size will also be changing, as you can see it here. But in the part 1 it was not changing. So if you experience that, once you select the size you want to use, you press your enter key. So that's it for that. That being said, so let's start with it. This first one here is called the pick tool. You can see if you scroll over it, the name will appear, the pick tool. And what this does is this: if you have different objects when you are working on CorelDraw, with the help of that pick tool you can switch between whichever objects you want to pick. That's why it's called the pick tool, or you want to work with at that point in time. For instance, on the screen now I have a rectangle, a square, and a pentagon. So if anyone I want to pick, I click on the pick tool and I come and I click on it. So that's one of the function of the pick tool. If I want this also, I click on it. I can also use the pick tool to drag and move objects around the screen. So to do that, you move your mouse over it, you left click, you hold your left button down, and you can just drag it anywhere you want to. So what is this saying? It said the pick tool lets you to select size, scale, rotate object. So it allows you to select. Also you can use it to size. For it to size, if you move your mouse to this point, you see, and then you hold your left button, you can use it to size. And see, I'm reducing the size. You can also let it bigger. That's it. Then to rotate, you can also use it to rotate. So to rotate, you double click on the object, you can see, and you can see this rotate button. You can use it to rotate. So with the help of the pick tool, if I want to rotate this, I've clicked on it once, I click on it again. Once you see these arrows, that's telling you that you can rotate it. So that's this for the pick tool. So make sure you try to play around with these tools also, so that you can get familiar with them and know how to use them and when you need to use them. So the next one is the shape tool. Shape tool, it has a lot of use. So let me draw a rectangle. So let's see what CorelDraw is saying about the shape tool. Okay, so let's you edit the shape of the object. So this is a rectangle. If I should click on the shape tool, you can see if I should click on one of the edge, I can use it to curve the edge. You can see. Let me fill it with a color file. You can see that I've curved the edge of this rectangle. So with the help of the shape tool. So I can also reduce it depending on how I want it to be curved. So there's another one, and that's the shape tool doing that right there. So you can also use the shape tool for something else. Let me draw another rectangle. If I click on the shape tool, let me convert it to curve. So for this button, if you right click on your mouse, you will see this. So if you click to curve, you notice this to come out. You can also use it. See, so let me move this away. Let me move that one away a bit. So back to this, I click on back on my shape tool. Once I touch any of this, it will appear back. So if maybe I want to have something shaped like this, so the shape tool is there. If I want it the other way around, you can see the shape tool is there to do that for me. So that's another work of the shape tool. Also, the shape tool, there are a lot of things you can use to do with the shape tool. So let me draw this and you see something to show you something else. If I click on the shape tool, let me convert to curve. So if I should delete this node or edge, delete, so I should delete this also, delete. So if you want a shape like this, you can see how is another way you can get it. So if I click back on my shape tool, so you can see that shape there. If you are familiar with its salad logo, you be familiar with this shape. This shape is just similar to its salad's logo. Let me duplicate that. That's I'm pressing Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. So you can see, and I'm using the arrow button on my keyboard to drag it out. So it's I'm just trying to give you a picture or something like that. It's a salad logo. So that's another thing you can use the shape tool to do. So another tool is the smoke brush. The smoke brush. So for the smoke brush, you use it to, let's see what CorelDraw is saying. It said the smoke brush lets you to distort a vector object by dragging along its outline. Alright. So let me delete this, all this on the screen. So let me draw another rectangle, and I select the smoke brush. So you can see what it will do. It will cause distortion on the outline. So that is what this smoke brush is doing. And you can also change the size of the small circle that is dragging those outline. If you look up here, and this is to select the nib size. So if I should reduce it to, let's say 0.69, or let me make it 0.5. Alright, so it's now smaller, and you can see it's now small. You can also, so whenever you select any of the tools, pay attention to this property bar, because there are always some options there. So add draw out to the effects. Let's see. Okay, maybe it's how long, it's talking about how long it's going to drag it out. So let me bring it back to 1 and see what happens. So you can see that when it is 1 it becomes longer, but when it was 10 it was very short. So let me also show you where this can also be used. Let me draw a circle. To draw a circle we'll still get there, but you can see the ellipses. So you see this, if you press your control key and then you left click, it will get a perfect circle. So I want to use the smooth brush to give you a shape that looks like that of a sun. So if I click on the smooth brush, then I can just distort. Okay, let me make this 5. Okay, 5 is good. Okay, let me start again. So select the smooth brush. So whichever way you want to look at it, I'm just trying to give you a drawing that looks like that of a sun. So that's another way of using the smooth brush. And let me fill this with a color, with blue, so you can see how it will appear. I'm to fill this with orange, so let me fill this with yellow. So that's the function of the smooth brush. You can use it to distort the edge of any of the objects. Let me give you an example here from CorelDraw. Smooth brush, let's say. So you can see this right here. This was done with the smooth brush. You can see the sun, this sun here. So it's done with the what? With the smooth brush. Okay, with the smoothing brush. Sorry. Okay, smoothing objects. So that's it for that. Okay, so the smudge brush. So the next tools we are going to be looking at is the roughening brush. The roughening brush. So from the name, what comes to your mind is telling us that it's going to be roughing something. So let me also delete this. If I click on it and I press the delete button on my keyboard, so it will get it out of the screen. So let me use a rectangle again. So if I should click on this small arrow there, it will bring out other tools, so that I can select the roughing brush. So I've clicked on it. You can see there's also this circle. What it's going to do, if I should hold my left button on my mouse and I drag it across it, you can see it has roughened that line. I can also change the nib size. So look at it. If I should drag over this size continuously, if I drag over here, let me drag over it. You can see it very fast. If I decide to drag over it very slow, you can see the effect it causes the line. So that is another function of the roughening brush. Let me draw another rectangle. So don't forget, I said when you select any of those tools, pay attention to the property bar. You'll see that some options will also show up. So the nib size is 2. Let me change it to 1. You can see it will become small. So you can likewise play with the tools to get yourself familiar with it. Okay, let me change this one to 5. Let's see. 5. Let me return it to 1 so you can see the difference. So that is it for the roughing brush. There's an example of that here. Let me search for it. Okay. Okay, I've seen it. So you can see this effect right here at the end of this was done with the roughening brush. Look at it. I said roughening allows you to apply jags or spikes to the part of an outline or part. So if you get familiar with the roughening brush, you'll be able to do this. And also this it was done with that roughening brush. Okay, so the next tool we are going to be looking at is the free transform tool. So what this does is that it transforms the way the object will appear. So let me click on it. So let me use this as an example. So first I click on the object, then I click on the tool, free transform tool. So you can see it here. So transforms the see it. Let me draw something else. Let me use this star for example. So you can see how to transform the star. So you select where you want to pick at your midpoint. So choose to transform. So let's say free scale to free angle reflection tool. So you can see that one is changing it, turning it, rotating it around the point you selected. Unlike this free scale tool. So make sure you try and understand the difference, and the best way you can do is to play around with them. So this one is free rotating tool. So just like the name, you use it to rotate it around the fixed points. And then the free scale tool. So that was it for the free transform tool. So the next tool we are going to be looking at now is the crop tool. From the name, the crop, you know that okay, to crop any image. So let me first of all import an image. So that's the image. I should click on the crop. And I press